Peace and love. I am going to be doing some of what I love to do, my real passion for the last few years, which is some ancestry. But in the meantime, I am going to be waiting for a possible call in because I want to talk about the idea that women being educated, having career choices like, professional career choices, maybe doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs. If those women were considering at all their family goals and ideas, and if so, were they intending to replace the homemaker? So, in the meantime, I'm going to be doing a little ancestry. So, it'll be a little bit quiet. I will post the code to get on the panel, but only if I get someone that requests to do so. Otherwise, the opportunity to do a call in means that you don't reveal who you are, unless you have a very popular voice. And I realize that privacy is really important. So that's what I'm doing. So this is Lamar County, Texas, and I'm trying to put a picture. I found a picture last night that I wanted to match with the person, and so I've done that. And this is her, and I want to put her picture with her. So I'm gonna go find the person who is. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this because I have StreamYard open and a whole lot of other tabs, which make it a little difficult to navigate. I'm gonna try to close down some of my tabs and see if that'll help. Anyway, I can close that one. I just saw her. Here she is. Okay, so I was familiar with Priscilla, which this is Priscilla, and we have some DNA matches that are from her descending offspring, and I know why. But I did not know that there was a Mariah Ricks Neal. Now, what that really should say is, no, maybe that's right, because I'll see if that's right. Mariah. Priscilla is the Anderson. Mariah has to be her sister, as I figured out. The real trip is how this came up was that I found, I can't read my bars. I'm gonna get rid of some stuff so I don't need all this no more. Okay, so let me see that should reduce my traffic. So okay, so I was looking at some connections, and I was saying, well, who is Mariah? I am a Neo by descendant because I'm almost familiar with the majority of the Neos in that time in that place, and I didn't remember a Mariah Neo. So, in addition to that, let me show you. I was looking at Priscilla, trying to talk my way back, whose mother is also a Mariah. And I was thinking that must be her mother looking at that picture. I was like, well, it could be her mom. But how did I find that? It was because of Joe Ricks. Okay, so Mariah. Okay, so this is Mariah. Who married the Ricks? Priscilla married the Ricks. She married Joe Ricks. Oh, I don't even have that in here. I got it in another private tree that I created. All right. I am going to talk about my subject, but I just want to do. I need to get this out of my head, right? I want to show you. If I already have this saved, it would come up in the top of my of this area here, right under the name and the in the 1940 United States Federal Census area. It would come up. So I don't have this saved already, which surprises me. I'm pretty sure this is the Briggs. But just to make sure, I am looking for something else that this is the right place. Mm. What I'm looking for is, okay, his Find a Grave, right? So on his Find a Grave, Joe Ricks, this is the right Joe Ricks. I'm going to go ahead and save this to him. Oh, I do have a Joe Ricks in my tree though already. I don't understand how he wasn't with her. So now I need to go and look at the Joe Ricks I already have. Oh, okay. Okay, so see here, this Joe Ricks that I just saved him to is the Joe Ricks that's already in my tree. So I have this Joe Ricks with a Lilia, which that's probably should be a C for Cilia or silly. We'll view the image where you can see the actual handwriting. A lot of times L's are gonna look like S's and and sometimes C's just L's are easier. Okay, right. So here's what they think is a L for Lilia. See, that's probably Cilia. All right, so here's what I gotta do. I gotta do a few things here. First of all, the I had two Joe Ricks, right? I saved them to the right one, not the one that I just threw in the tree. So first thing I have to do right here, I want to view them in the tree just to see what's going on right there. Because I don't have her connected to a family. Okay. So this is the Mariah. I just fixed that last night. So they're in the right place. Obviously, I have another Priscilla because I have her attached to her self already. So now, I have a picture attached to her. So I'm going to merge her. I should go and put a correction in right here too. Let me do that. Let me go through that. To do a correction, you go over here and you go to, maybe I might have to view the record first. Okay, and then I go here to add alternative information. However, someone's already done that. Let's see. Okay, this person, M. Salaman, has already done that. 2015, March of 2015. Okay, let's see. It's another correction. Let's see who did that one. Okay, the both of them. He's the person who made both of those corrections. When I see that someone has gone through and made a correction, most of the time I go ahead and I do a DNA. I pull them up to see if we match in DNA, because if they have a DNA, then we should match, and we do. Okay, he's probably a descendant of Priscilla. Okay, family's coming. I'm gonna mute. Hold on, I'm coming to the door. Just give me a second to get up. I gotta mute. I'm doing a live. Hold on. Okay, peace and love. Anybody want to come up? All right, and then I'm going to continue. I do want to type in right now what the oh no, that's not it. Were educated women to replace the homemaker. Yeah, things are going to go a little slow when I'm doing more. Okay, I'm going to show. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the other screen and I'm going to keep up. Well, let me talk about this for a minute while I'm right here thinking about it. No. She don't feel so good, so I hope you are gentle. Okay, so all right, so what I'm doing is, I want to talk a few minutes about We're educated women to replace the homemaker. If you decided to get an education,
okay, we have $20 earlier too, so I might be asking
for me, okay. So what I'm asking is, has anyone considered whether the woman who went out to get an education in the past, first of all, because I'm going back to the root, potato. I'm going back there, and I'd like to have some conversation about if they thought about what that would mean in the home. Okay, I'm gonna mute for a second. All right, so I'm back over here. I want to go into the tree. Before I start merging, I like to just um, just look once more at the person that I'm going to be merging, which I know I have Priscilla, and I think I have her under with a PRE. Maybe not. Per, I don't know. It ain't no. Let me try SYL. So, okay, I have Priscilla, but her own family says Priscilla, so I'm going to be changing that first of all. But who do I have her connected to? Okay, so in this part of my tree, I have Priscilla. I'm saying Priscilla because I know that's typically the way it's said. So I'm going to be changing that to Priscilla, the way her family spells it, her more direct family. And oh, I got her last name is Anderson instead of Anderson. So anyway, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna edit, quick edit, go over here, per, and I don't think it had a S, Priscilla. So go back. Yeah, I can put it on mute. All right, so I'm back over here. I was trying to get, okay, back to her family's way of spelling it. But anyway, I'm going to put Priscilla without an S. I also like to include the other names that I see. Why is it jumping? See, it do crazy things, I think, when you got too many tabs open, Lilia, because that's another way I saw it spelled. I try to include the ways I see the name spelled in the bar, the selection for. Okay, then I need to add an R for Anderson. Okay, and then I want to look and view her in the tree. It's tedious work, it really is. But I want to view her in the tree, and oh, okay, I got. Let's see, someone came in. Let me see. We're supposed to get education and still be able to homemake. Men got theirs, still are protectors and providers. Mm-hmm. I'm going to come back over there and put that right up on the screen. Hi, LaShawn. I think I'm saying your name right. Thank you for commenting, for joining me in the chat. I hope you're still there. And if you'd like to come up and let's talk about this, I would love to. You just let me know. I'm going to read your comment again. It says, was supposed to get education and still be able to be a homemaker. Men got theirs and still are protectors and providers. And I'm going to agree with you there. So I know that is what it was supposed to be. It couldn't be any other way. I just don't think that the women thought about it. I don't think that the people who were encouraging them to go to school iterated that they made that an important conversation, you know? So at some point, women had to start thinking that this is going to be an imbalance or that it is an imbalance. So, you know, I sure would like some brave women to come up and talk to me. I don't have, good morning, LaShawn. I don't have a lot of followers, but I have a few. And at some point, I am hoping to start having some conversations that matter with my women folk. I am trying to be an additional voice. Well, I don't want to say it that way. I am an additional voice of the women who know that something went wrong, is wrong, and needs to be addressed, that we need to revisit the past. I think that going to the root or rid of the problem or issues and discussing what happened is a very productive way to have an understanding about what happened and begin to have a conversation about corrections. Because a lot of times it feels like when you just start with what the problem is, the people who are currently carrying the torch are just completely offended, and they want to we want to fall into a category of people that say, well, it ain't my fault. Okay, it still needs to be addressed. So, you know what I'm going to do? I am still going to drop a link in the chat because while I am doing this, I was doing a little bit of ancestry, or genealogy, which is just like my first love right now, right? I just started doing genealogy probably 2 years ago. And found out that I love it. I think it's important too. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over there, and I'm gonna be doing a little genealogy in between. I hope you'll stick around. I recently subscribed to your channel, and you know, I take a little time when I subscribe. I'm a slow to subscribe. I subscribe as I am either subscribed to, because I always you know, at this point, I always go and take a look at people to subscribe to me to see what kind of work they do, if they are a content person, or if they're just kind of a quiet person. Just getting an idea of the community that I hope that I'm drawing. So I know I subscribed to you recently, and I remember seeing that you are a grill master. So I'll be paying attention. But I'm going to go back over here because I at least want to finish up. I want to finish up this correction that I'm working on, which is to change her name. I mean, I did change her name. She's in another tree with her family that is right here that I already had. But obviously, when I was putting this work in, I was putting it in based on the fact that my family, this is my great time, something like third or fourth, I think my great time fourth grandfather. I hope I'm not on mute. Let me make sure. Okay. This is my great times four grandfather, Eli Ellis's, and these Ellis's, I have a lot of DNA matches based on the Ellis line out of Lamar County, Texas, which is in the Choctaw, Oklahoma. It's a skirting community with Choctaw, Oklahoma, and Red River, Texas, which is where I get a lot of my family tree from on my mother's paternal side. So I'll actually have, like right here alone, just in this little square of information. So this is my grandfather, whose daughter married Squire Anderson and has Priscilla. Priscilla's over here. Okay, wait, I'll show. So which Priscilla is one of the offspring of. So that's why Priscilla is related. Her descendants are related to me. But also here, Pink Washington is related to my cousin. He's my cousin's grandfather. Well, actually, okay, let me explain that. The majority of people in my family that I connect with in DNA realized that I had a passion for doing this and really looking for true information and like weeding out information that people have in their trees that they just weren't sure about and followed someone else's lead on, and clearing up like messes. So if someone in my family has DNA, generally they get in touch with me to share the file so that I can help clear up any mishaps that they may have in their tree. Okay, I'm gonna come back over there. I have a StreamYard up on my phone that, and I'm looking at it off and on. So you say they out there just hard. Listen, I'm gonna post it. Just hard speaking against the masses. Yeah, I've always kind of been. I think I was born disgruntled, so I've always kind of been a loner, and I think that I am hearing that throughout the conversations here and there amongst women who are against the odd, being not influenced a lot by what the masses are going with. But so I've always had somewhat of a icky relationship with my kind. And so for all of my life that I remember, I've had conversations that were different than the masses. And so for me, I'm a little bit practiced at having a conversation with women folk that is not agreeable. This is a new venue for me to speak. I really don't talk a lot, and I really don't socialize a lot. And well, I already said that I was sort of a loner, but I really don't do a lot of communicating. But it's not that I'm not social. I'll talk, but I don't do this. I don't get on the stage, or I'm not into that. But yeah, you're right. I had an old soul, and guess what? I hung out with the old people too, and I enjoyed the old people. I'm in my great grandfather's kitchen right now, the person who bought this home, and I'm so attached to this place. That's why I'm always here. And when I was old enough to leave home, and that doesn't mean an adult, when I was old enough to say to my parents, I don't want to be here. I want to go be with my grandparents. And they were kind enough to let me because they were having messy lives. This is where I came. And so I remember, and we were here a lot. So I remember, this very kitchen that I'm sitting in now, and him tinkering in here. He was an early bird, and, you could hear him in here cooking and doing his coffee. And he would have a radio on top of the refrigerator playing, I'm in Chicago, playing WLS Chicago and all those old country tunes. And so, yeah, I'm an old soul for sure. So. But well, I'm an old soul for real now. All right, so I'm gonna get back over here and finish this tree situation. Okay, so I was saying that. So when I look at this square of information right here, my grandfather Eli Ellis which is my grandmother okay, the great grandfather that I was just talking about. He and his wife both came here to Chicago from Lamar County, Paris, Texas. And so this is her side. Eli Ellis is her grandfather. Her father was Pink. And so Pink is actually, okay, so we're looking at Eli's brother Fleming's family that we're having connections with. But anyway, so out of his brother Fleming's family, we also have another child born to his daughter Mariah, who married another family member, Rudolphus McFrazier, um, which is now Frazier. They took the Mac off, but in most cases. But um, so it's all kinds of, those were smaller environments, I guess, and so got a lot of double connections and things like that. I'm gonna keep keeping my eye on my phone in case you decide to come up. All right. So I am okay. So what I'm supposed to be doing is looking at why is Priscilla not attached to herself with Joe over there? And so I don't see any real reason to not connect her, like no discrepancies that might cause some problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge her with herself, which is under I forget. Okay, here she is right here. Lilia Ricks. So I'm going to look for Lilia. That's why you have to have so many tabs open. Not, it's a bad excuse, and I'm not even practicing what I preach, because what I preach is that you should always have an open tab where you are kind of like journaling your research. You should be like writing down a few things so that you could close some of your tabs. Now, what I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I'm merging her with herself. She's in my tree twice. Okay, so now she's merged with herself, which is why there are two Joe Ricks. This Joe Ricks I just typed him in. So I can easily just delete him. Go up to edit, delete him. The only thing now is she might have double children. Oh, no, she doesn't. Okay, so I have her 1900, 1910, 1920, 1930. I should be able to, unless she died, which she didn't. I have right up here that she didn't die before 1940. I have a death date. So I should be able to find her in 1940. The census are not available until after 70 years, I believe, 72 years of a lifetime, which is based on the fact that biblically people have been promised, I think, 7 scores, or I forget how it goes. So in 1920, in 2022, we will have access to the 1950 census. Up until then, we're stopped. We don't have access to any census after 1940. So right now, I'm gonna. Oh, okay, look at see. I got hints right here. I already pressed search, I think. Okay, so I got hints right here for Joe Ricks. And there's 1940. This is what I'm looking for. That's not a hint, though. I pressed already search for him, and that's where it comes up. So here we have the same family. See, Priscilla spelled the way her family spells it. So I'm going to save Joe and Priscilla. And then I'm going to stop with this I'm going to close them out. Their son Samuel. It is a picture I would like to include. Okay, so here you see they have Ladoris and Ladonia. If I were to change it, it would just change to Ladoris, and it would have was Ladonia here, but you wouldn't see that. So I don't like to do that. I just like to keep the name as it's spelled every way in the census available. I try to do that. I don't always do it. Okay, so here we have it again. They have a daughter, Alzada. In 1940, I would think it's spelled more correct, like, the way that the family wants it to be spelled, like the more advanced we get. So from 1930 to 1940, maybe someone's learned how to spell, maybe talking back to the enumerators are going to be a little easier to do. People feel more liberal about that. So maybe they're saying, no, it's not spelled like that. And maybe in, times past, they might have said, you know, not talk back, There was a time that, and I really should put this in order. So it should be the Alzetter should be on the front end, and as the names are spelled differently, should be going further back. So I don't do everything right. I gotta admit that. Okay, so I have them. I have every census that's available for them, and I want to go to show hints. So hints is where you'll see a green number, and that is Ancestry's database base. That's Ancestry's database showing you what they have according to your according to your information. They're giving you their they're helping you by sharing what they have for you to okay, so I'm gonna save I want to save this picture with the more people on, but this one is I don't know. So these are other members who have shared photos, and Ancestry is sharing that with you. They're telling you that there are 10 other public Ancestry member trees who also have excuse me, who also have Joe Ricks in it that fits this bill. Okay, this is Joe before. I don't have his 1900, I don't think, in 1910. That's when he was in the home with his parents. So I'll go back to that. So here's what I mean when I say you should keep a standing, open tab of or document where you are keeping your information. So I want to stop this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, Control C, and I'm going to go back over here to my new document, and I'm going to put Control V, and I should have had a link, but maybe it's coming. Maybe it's just too many tabs open. It wouldn't do it. Okay, Control C should be copy. Come back over here, Control V should be paste. I think I can't do that with StreamYard open, I don't think. I'll get back to that. So, okay, so let me just, start sharing something else right now, right? Okay, let me see. Wow, that is Oh, I should have typed that in the chat, shouldn't I? I'll get better. So I cannot promise myself, I haven't committed any amount of time to this venture of expressing my concerns or having a voice. Okay, I gotta get water first. I'm having a hard time with my throat. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Okay, that might be better. Okay, so what I was saying is that I haven't made a commitment that I'm going to continue to do this voicing for a certain amount of time. You know, and life is still happening over here. I don't know if I'll be able to have a voice for a long period of time. And so I'm trying to leave an imprint, if nothing else. So I'll continue to ask questions and have discussion, even if it's with myself, until I'm just so worn with it that I can't, or something else happens. I'm hoping that my women folk will hear me. Does it matter? I really don't know. I've heard that it's already too late to try to correct, but to learn from the past is really important also. So, not just trying to correct it, but if it could be corrected, I think, you know, that it should be. Um, if there's some benefit in looking at what happened, talking about what happened, then we should do that. We should have these conversations. These are my opinions, and I am certainly convicted that my opinions are right. So, until otherwise proven. so, so by me having my phone on the video, oh, LaShawn, you said when? Uh, I don't know what you saying. Let's see. It says, oh, okay. It says, I'm coming back over there. I'm coming back over there. It says, here, hard for me to read on my phone. It says, take your time. No one expects perfect when HFN just starting. When, let's see, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Specs perfect. Oh, okay. I see. That's the right. When you go back and make a correction. Yeah, I see. Okay. I'm a little bit slow sometimes, okay? Never too late for those don't need the corrections. Need to hear more from y'all. Okay. Yeah, that's what I think too. That's what I think that's what helped me to go forward with this. I for whatever reason that the universe created this situation for me to wind up in the environment of the manosphere. That's what happened. And I was actually taking a break from the arguments that and discrepancies that were going on in the community of the people who are researching and are coming into a new knowledge of their ancestral makeup, being that we are the indigenous Americans that were already here. And, because, of the arguments and the things that were going on there, I needed a break from that community, not to say that I am abandoning my mission to bring forth some light on those issues. But when I needed that break, I ended up on BGS Ipmore's channel. And that was the beginning of my desire try to somehow put together those facts that I was coming into the light of there and the facts of what is really currently happening in our community today. And, I really feel like I want to create a mission statement. And in that mission statement, I'm going to have to mute for a moment. Okay. Okay. So I'm, I'm at my family's house, and so this is where everybody comes. So even if we all live in other places, we're everybody's always around here. So if you get up and it's not a work day for you, you come over here. If you don't have to go home, then you come over here. So it's always something going on in the background after, especially this late. I usually try to get up much earlier to do my weekly live stream on Tuesday or Wednesday because those are my off days, and I try to do it like early in the morning, like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock Central Time. I think we're Central Time over here. So, I try to keep my finger on the mute button right here, just in case somebody haul off and start talking crazy, because it be some crazy stuff going on around here. So, all right, so I'm back. Look, it's a couple of people. I see that the eye says three, so it could be three or more people here. If anybody is interested in doing this panel, it's out here, but I'm gonna post it again. Let me see if I can do it. I might have to get it again because I might be something trying to do something else. Control V. If anybody's interested in coming up and answering this question or talking about this question, I would love to have you. This is the phone number if you want to call. I believe that privacy is very important, as it's really easy to get into arguments that can really cause a lot of stress. And I want people to come here and be able to talk. And you know, I, I like to see some conversation that can benefit us. Now, before I went on mute, I know I was saying that I really want to come up with a mission statement that includes my passions, um, my passion for uh, genealogy, my passion for my community, my passion for, well, okay, so that's where I'm at. So how do you combine the world of people who are looking at their ancestral history and the importance of that? How do you combine that with what is going on in our community now, which is that our menfolk are in a place of awakening where they see clearly that they have no obligation to stay within the community of people who have had the same experience as they ancestrally. Now, I don't know if that, I have to probably rewind that to know if it's really making sense. But okay, so that's what I want to do. I want to think on that and put that together, because the people in the community who are looking at their ancestry and having some argument about whether it's true or not. Would be the people who are Pan African arguing with people who are saying, I'm not African, I am American, indigenously, um, which I agree with. Well, they're having that argument over there. They're having the argument with one another where they say, people are erroneous in their description of who they are, and also giving erroneous information about how to move forward in who you are. Okay. And then on the other side of the token, in the community of Save Yourself Black men, there is the argument of, well, there's really no argument, honestly. There's only the issue of enlightenment, the issue of seeing clearly what happened, how or why it happened, maybe, and having some taking some responsibility in giving good information to our children about how to effectively move forward. I think I'm working on my mission statement right there. I don't know. So the question at hand is, were educated women to replace the homemaker? When women were selected to go to school out of a family, let's say in the 1950s, because if I'm not mistaken, going to college or having a higher learning opportunity wouldn't have been available as early as maybe the 30s or 40s. Okay, so if you have the emancipation of slavery in 1865, in which there was a prohibition to even read or write, then you're going to think certainly no one was just going to be getting up and going to college. So then you have, let's skip to 1920, where you have what we call or are often hearing is what the Black Wall Street. Let's see. Oh, hey, love. That was the first time I ever saw where it shows you have comments down below. Okay, let's see. Okay, LaShawn, you said here, we are blended people of many tribes and tradition. Absolutely. Yet barely any of us remember what they ever were. True. Question then becomes, if we don't remember, how important is it then to go back and make every effort to figure it out? And I'm on the other end. I'm on the end. I've come closer to the end, and I'm deeply embedded in the end that we need to know as much as we can about our people, where they were as far back as we can see. Okay, love, you say, had to get women out of the home so they can teach our children Black. So you talking about the propaganda. Okay, I'm gonna have to mute. People might be cussing. Okay, so love, what you are saying, as I understand that comment, is that there was an agenda for people who were in charge to get women out of the home and into the education system. So that would mean that there were some kinds of where you solicit. There had to be some solicitation going on. Wonder if we could find out something on that. Let's see. We have retained some culture, but we are now identifying it. What we eat, how we respect our elders, how we congregate, all indigenous. Okay. Yeah, because, we're not a cultureless people. The endeavor to strip us of our culture certainly happened, and it certainly, we've been hit hard. But I know that we have culture. Sometimes and I know I've said it. I've said it in some of the videos that I posted in the past that say we've been stripped of our culture. And I think that that's true. But being stripped of your culture does not mean that you have none. We have culture, and we have culture that's important to recognize. I think we have culture that we don't even realize is specific to our indigenous past. In most cases, I think doing your ancestry, just being more in tune with the ancestors, looking at them on paper, looking at pictures, meditating on what must have happened. All of those things, are like opening a portal into communicating with them in some way, and that it reestablishes our cultural connection to them. That's another reason why I think it's important to do your genealogy. I do always wonder why we don't teach Black history. We let them teach it once a month, a year. Now, least do have a museum, or we do at least have a museum that can find out. So I know that there's a museum in Chicago called the DuSable Museum. I remember going there maybe once or twice. You're right. I think that is what the indigenous American community is doing. Having 24/7 panel discussions about what happened, sharing what they found, about the facts of the matter being that we are people that were here. Those, I think, are Black history. We need to fund our own museum. Yeah. Yeah, Black history needs to be revisited. I have a very difficult time going with the term Black. And I realized that to have a healthy conversation about that means you have to bring that to the table. So when I say that, I'm saying, oh look, we have a new piece to rock. I hope I'm saying that right. Peace to you from the UK. Peace from the US. Or I don't want to say it that way. I want to say peace from America. Okay. So, um, funding our own museum. Yeah, we do. We need to. Uh, how does that start? Like maybe we should be doing some research on, how our museums started. You know, all of the here's something that happened that the colonizing immigrant did to the mounds and the artifact that was left here. I think that they robbed, oh, I'm sure that they robbed those places, and then I think they made it off limits to go there and take anything from it. But maybe, having pictures of some of the items that was stolen could be the beginning of a museum experience. I really don't know, but we need our own museum. We need to teach our own history. And these are things that were taken from us, that were, our history was hidden from us. And so you have people who are, and that's what the fighting is about. You have the Pan African who believes they have the truth, and you have the indigenous American who is coming into the realization of a truth and defending that truth. Now, of course, they can both be right, but where is the place that we come together to begin to lay down the facts and create an environment of a museum? Okay, let's see here. Love says we should buy a small property and put it in trust, no taxes, right? All the indigenous art and photos we have, we can do it. Well, love, then that is an initiative that I would back up. I would say that we can do it as well, and we should do it, and we must do it. Okay, let's see here. Tarak says Dame Dash was saying something back in the day about opening up galleries. Tarak, maybe you could find a link, and I'm going to leave this posted. And maybe you can put a link in the comment section of this video that I can pin, where we could take a look at what Dame Dash was saying. Going back to Love's statement about buying a small property and putting it in a trust. How do we do that? Everything that we do is public now. So, I don't know what that entails, or if publicly hashing that out is a good idea or not, but I hope that this could be a project that could bring us together in a way that we can work in a like-minded way. Because, see, one of the things, and this is going to go off, but I think it's going to bring it all back in. one of the things that has happened in this day is that um, we are at a loss for expressing ourselves in a spiritual way. We are, this is my opinion, we are so disgusted with the facts that we operated under the model of Christianity because we had to. And now we are in some way rebellious because of that. But then what happens to our spirituality? So in in the lack of having that environment, um, what happens to the principles that we observe as good um, in a community way, meaning that we're not coming together like that. So our only meetings now are here on YouTube. Um, maybe when people go out to clubs and dance, that's some spiritual experience, but who are you meeting there? So we need like-minded tasks and opportunities to bring us together. Okay, love, you say, right, distractions. We have to stop trying to disprove America. Oh, okay. We have to stop trying to disprove African ancestry. Our goal should only be to prove our existence. Disproving Native Americans as being here will only cause more separation. We must concentrate on us. Okay. Tarak. The Garifuna community in California have started one and said that they can help others. I was thinking in the same way for the UK with an American Indigenous arts and culture. Okay, I don't know if I have deleted enough or exited enough apps to do this, but I'm going to go over here and I'm gonna look and see if I see something on the Garifuna of California. The Garifuna, I think that I'm pronouncing that right. Or Black Caribs, okay, mixed African and indigenous people, originally from the Caribbean, speak Garifuna dialect and Arawakan language. Okay, so this is just that. I'm sorry, I pulled that down, but that's just a quick Wikipedia search. So okay, love, you also are saying that the Garifuna are doing their thing. Okay, all right. Is there a museum? I met Garifuna. They deny African ancestry and they are indigenous to the islands. Garifuna Museum of Alzheimer's. Okay, I have a question. I wonder if that was Garifuna Museum of Los Angeles. They have a Facebook. Okay, while that's loading, um, I want to say, oh, it was a question that I had. We'll just see if they what they got up here. The Reyes family. Okay, it's an honor to have a museum in the memory of my grandfather, Narcia Reyes. I am his granddaughter. I like the idea of my people changing the heritage of Garifuna culture, continue with doing the job. What a beautiful museum. Oh, they have a summer camp. Okay. I'll see how long have oh wow, they've been open since 2011. Oh, so I see that they have a YouTube video. I am going to watch that YouTube video, and then I'm going to post it also in the comments or the description. I love to see what's going on with that. So okay, I am going to. I usually try to do this for about an hour. This house is already in motion, and so I'm going to end the broadcast. I'm going to keep my question about what the intention of the women was. What is the intention of the woman today with getting an education? Is she considering homemaking? Is the woman of today who's going to know she's going to go to school after high school. This is the plan. Has her mother and father, grandparents, has anyone had a conversation with her about how she intends to move forward with a family in the future? Has she thought about that? Our women wish to be independent of the man. It's terrible. Yeah, it is. And it's impossible. And it's destructive. I hope we can all connect. We have brothers and sisters in the UK. You can find us on Lacona Corner on YouTube. Yeah, I used to spend my Saturdays listening to the broadcast that Hot Step was doing, and they were very informative. I've spent some time listening to that information, and it's so much to that we could go back to. And yeah, I think that we're going to. I think we're gonna do just what you said, connect. I think we're gonna all connect. We're gonna continue to strengthen those divides that are between us as communities, as the indigenous people who are already here. And then, maybe some of that will help us to grow in some way as a people, in a sister brotherly fashion, a husband wifely fashion. Yeah. Okay, guys. So with that, I am going to go ahead and end the broadcast. I'm going to say to you that I am very thankful for you all participating with me this morning. And, I might try to do something tomorrow morning early and continue this, because I'm going to continue to ask these questions and try to provoke a I'm going to try to provoke my women folk to talk to me. There are some platforms that it is difficult to have a conversation on, um, for whatever reason. Maybe, just having this as an alternative, having a conference number to kind of, hide behind, because maybe that's really important to get this conversation started. It's the Black woman got to go to school after making a home. That will also be a good question for them. Um, okay, so I thought about this. I thought about that. I might have said that too, in something that I put out, where I was just ventilating, a little bit venting, that is, about this idea that, I don't think it's wrong to get an education. I think it's smart to get an education. The women are the first teachers of the children. But that would be the primary reason to get an education. It should be primarily to bring it back home and to influence your children in an educated way. That would be one. Then I thought, okay, women going to school, uh, that wasn't a bad idea. The bad idea was women going to school and not bringing that information and not bringing those skills back into the community. So I thought that in times past, men stayed back, whether it was because it was not an opportunity for men, but for women because of whatever reason. But that the main reason I could think of was because the men were the labor force. So if you're the labor force, you're going to have to stay back, and the women could go on to school, being as they're not providing the way of life. In that case, what is her obligation? His obligation is already clear. He's not going away. He's going to stay here because he has to work to continue to provide a way of life for his loved ones. Whether it's that he's married by now, but I would think at school age, it would be because he's helping his father to provide for his mother and the other women folk, and the boy folk, the young men too. But whatever it is, he's obligated to the community. And the women who are, going off to school should be obligated to bring back to that same community. Um, not because you can't grow outward, because if you went to school and let's say were given an opportunity to teach at the school that you went away to, okay, so then still what is your obligation to your community? So if you had an opportunity like that, you're out of the area where your family is now, and you want to just keep moving forward. um, Find a husband somewhere out, and uh, then what about the people that supported you through that? How were we communicating then about what was important to give back? Or was it just go, make a way for yourself, or was it you go, you make a way for yourself, and when your mom, if your mom ever needs you, or your father ever needs you, or your siblings ever need you, you're in a better position to help, to 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 begin a migration out of places where um, it was more dangerous to be. Okay, so I already said that I was going to end this broadcast, and so I'm really going to do that. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you all this morning, and I hope to see you again another time really soon. Peace and love, y'all. Peace.